Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croy Dragon, and welcome back to Vox Adventures. Morning expedition done. Got it done last night. Yeah, recording. Jeez. Just got some clay to drop off at Sam's. 7:41 a.m. We're fine. What? What's up, Alex? What? Hey. Hold on one moment. What, Alex? Hey. What's up, baby? So, if you didn't hear yesterday, Desmond Amofa's body has been found. He was the YouTuber known as Etika. It was suicide. I didn't know about him until then, but it really left me shaken when I heard about it. I wasn't feeling around. I had memories of when I considered such a thing flooding into my head. It's sad that the world lost him. I don't know what more to say. That morning expedition, it was long. I spent nearly 2 hours last night until I finally finished it. Just get so focused when I'm mining. It's too early in the morning for Markiplier's indie horror bone shit. Mm. Mm. Hey you. Hey baby. Oh, I forgot a box of Kleenex. Hold on. Alex? Oh, sorry. There you go, big guy. He'll be back. Headbutting his way in. Not sure what to talk about. Could try to talk about something. And here he comes. Alex? What's up, baby? What? Never gonna get a diamond key. What's up? Come on up, baby. Alex, come on up. Hey. What? Let's see where our feet take us today. Hmm. Alex? What? Hey, baby. What? Can you see this? Now you can see a bit of his tail. Not sure you can see him though. Hey. Oh, for sake. He's just relaxing on a chair. In Atlantis, the Lost Empire, the protagonist Milo was supposed to be descended from Blackbeard, descended or related to Blackbeard. Not exactly sure which, but to my knowledge, Blackbeard didn't exact my to my knowledge, Blackbeard didn't have children. I mean, I don't know. He might have, but there's no historical record to my knowledge. So, yeah, that's pretty much artistic license right there. Uh, Obviously we've seen that in that same artistic license in Pirates of the Caribbean, the fourth one, on Stranger Tides, I believe it's called. I have it, I just can't remember the title. And that doesn't mean I don't like the film, I love it. It's just, ultimately when a franchise gets that big, I don't have that problem with Star Wars, actually, but obviously I'm starting to have that problem with Pirates of the Caribbean. I remember the names of the first three. Dead, Curse of a Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, and At World's End. But it's the fourth and fifth I have difficulty remembering the names of. I love all of them. It's just that I love all of them. I own them all on. Well, I own them all. DVD or Blu-ray. I just have difficulty remembering their names. Hmm. Actually, I think I might look up some information of a Pirates of the Caribbean for me to read to you. I've never been to Disney World, uh, but I've seen the ride via one of the special features on the Curse of the Black Pearl DVD. Of course. One R, two Bs. Damn it. Okay, so Michael Keaton and Christian Bale were considered for the roles, reportedly considered for the roles of Jack Sparrow and Rel Turner. That's interesting. And supposedly Tom Hiddleston also auditioned for the role of Rel Turner. Oh, Dead Man. Dead Men Tell No Tales. That's the name of the fifth one. Geez, Johnny Depp actually suggested that Jack shouldn't have a nose, having lost it in the past and have a bloody wound. I can definitely see why they didn't go with that idea. Okay, Curse of the Black Pearl. Let's see here. Oh, the film was supposed to be a direct-to-video production with Christopher Walken, Rick Mayall, and Carrie Elwes as choices for the leads. Doesn't say which of the male leads, so from this it kind of looks like Christopher Walken would have been playing Jack, Rick Mayall would have been playing Rel, and Carrie Elwes would have been playing Barbosa. Okay, so apparently Jack was written with Hugh Jackman in mind, but he supposedly was not well known to American audiences yet. Okay, hold on here. X-Men. Mmm. Excuse me. Okay, X-Men in 2000. When was Curse of the Black Pearl? That 2003. So I guess and X2 was also 2003. So I'm from the looks of it, from the looks of things, it looks like you wouldn't have been able to wouldn't have been able to have played Jack even then. Okay, Matthew McConaughey was also considered for the role of Jack. Um, I don't think I have any idea who that is. I don't recognize any of his credits. Alright, let's see here. Early of the version, early version of the script had Elizabeth outright turning down Norrington's proposal at the beginning of the film, resulting in Norrington joining Barbosa to plot and take over the Caribbean. Yeah, that sounds a tad bit cliche. Oh, really? Jim Carrey was offered the role of Jack, but he was busy with Bruce Almighty again. It would have been just like Hugh Jackman being busy with X2. Ian McGregor and Tobey Maguire were considered for role, Jessica Alba auditioned for Elizabeth. Robert De Niro turned down either Jack or Barbossa because box office he thought pirate movies were box office poison. You know, when Johnny Depp didn't get the nose missing idea, he, he lobbied hard for it having been cut off but sewn back on, and Jack being afraid of losing it again, and he wanted it to be slightly blue in color. The man's a bloody maniac. But then again, some of his actions are proof enough of that. Hey. Okay, Dead Man's Chest. Keith Richards was supposed to make a cameo, but had to drop out due to touring commitments. Christopher Walken was one of the initial choices for Davy Jones. Jeez, that's 2 movies now he was considered for. And Gore Verbinski wanted Davy Jones to be Dutch. That was the flying Dutchman. Understandable. Bill Nye, Nye, balked at that and suggested the Scottish accent instead. Okay, hold on. Okay, seriously, I have to figure this out. And let's hear Jones, surname, a common Welsh surname. Welsh. It is most popular in Wales and south-central England. Uh-huh. I know, he's captain of the Flying Dutchman, but with a name like Davy Jones, I mean, a name like Jones, I don't know, I think an English or a Welsh accent would have made more sense. Okay, let's keep going. Or, wait. I mean, I'm not gonna exclude the possibility of a Scottish person with the name Jones because, well, Wales Wales, England, and Scotland are all on the same landmass, so it's not improbable. It's very possible. I don't know. I'm not sure if a ship's name is usually an indication of their captain's origins. I mean, Flying Dutchman. It's an. I mean, contains the word Dutchman in it, but at the same time, it's in English, so it could have. I don't know. To make that work, the ship would have had to been. Wait. Yeah. To make that work, the ship would have had to have been Dutch in origin, and the captain would have had to. The captain who named it would have to be from an English-speaking nation. Yeah, that actually makes a decent amount of sense. Does it? I've no idea. I I'm probably gonna go off script, like I've ever had a script to begin with, and start reading about the Flying Dutchman to you guys. One of the great ghost ships of nautical lore. Hmm. Wait, I Flying Dutchman. Let's check Golden Age of Piracy. Trying to figure this out. Was there any wars between Great Britain and Holland during the Golden Age of Piracy, or the years leading up to it? No, the years leading up to the three segments of it. I'm trying to figure this out. I mean, if you want to demystify it, uh, well, flying would imply it's the fact it was a ship of great speed. Dutchman would imply it was Dutch in origin, and the regular names in English would imply that it was named by that its owner was an English pirate. Would it? I've no idea. I mean, Blackbeard named his ship Revenge, and he was English speaking, so that's my frame of thought. Why am I getting so fixated on this? Does the Flying Dutchman even originate from Dutch folklore specifically? Well, the English and Flying Dutchman is just the English. Does that mean Flying Dutchman is just the English translation? That's something. Yeah, that's something we should figure out before we continue this whole uh, thing. They see carpet. Excuse me. Yeah, Blackbeard was actually something of a genius. He openly encouraged the creation of such a reputation about him, so people would rather surrender than fight. Granted, that did not stop. Well, it wasn't the perfect plan because obviously, eventually, uh, yeah, people he was went after and killed. Let's see, a Flying Dutchman. Huh, really, Jones means John's son, so does that mean Indiana Jones has an ancestor named John? Okay, Dutch. De Vliegende Hollander. De Vliegende Hollander. Okay, I, okay, first off, sounds so much better than Flying Dutchman. Let's see here. Excuse me. The first print reference to the ship appears in Travons and Travons in various parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa during a series of 30 years and upward by John MacDonald. dated 1790. The weather was so stormy that the sailors said they saw the Flying Dutchman. The common story is that this Dutchman came to the Cape in distress of weather and wanted to get into harbour, but could not get a pilot to conduct her, and was lost, and that ever since in very bad weather her vision appears. Okay. Huh. Okay, so that implies that the Flying Dutchman is only seen in a specific spot. Let's see here. Came to the Cape in distress. Was lost, and ever since in very bad weather her vision appears. So, in a specific cape in very bad weather. Oh, that's actually quite interesting. That is actually quite interesting. So, look, Flying Dutchman doesn't roam the ocean. It doesn't appear across the ocean. It only appears in a specific place and under a specific condition. I actually really like that. I really like that. Okay, let's see here. The next literary reference appears in chapter. Oh, jeez. Hold on, gotta consult my table. I'm pretty sure that's it. See you. Yes, that is 6. The next literary reference appears in chapter 6 of A Voyage to Botany Bay. Botany Bay. Also known as A Voyage to New South Wales. New South Wales. What is that? Is that in Australia? The name makes me think it's in Australia. Attributed to George Barrington, 1755 to 1804. I had often heard of the superstition of sailors respecting apparitions and doom, but had never given much credit to the report. It seems that some years since a Dutch man of war was lost off the Cape of Good Hope, and every soul on board perished. Her consort weathered the gale and arrived soon after at the Cape. Having refitted and returned to Europe, they were assailed by a violent tempest nearly in the same latitude. In the night watch, some of the people saw or imagined they saw a vessel standing for them under a press of sail, as though she would run them down. One in particular affirmed it was the ship that had floundered in the former gale, and that it must certainly be her or the apparition of her. But on its clearing up, the object, a dark, thick cloud, disappeared. Nothing could do away the idea of this phenomenon. In the minds of the sailors, and on their relating the circumstances when they arrived in port, the story spread like wildfire, and the supposed phantom was called the Flying Dutchman. From the Dutch, the English seamen got the infatuation, and there are very few Indiamen Dutch, English, Dutchman, Englishman. Really, is that what they actually called people from India back then? But what was but what has someone on board who pretends to have seen the apparition? Okay, so from that reference we get the idea that it's Dutch in origin and that Flying Dutchman is simply, well, it's obviously the English name now, isn't it? The next literary reference introduces the motif of punishment for a crime in Scenes of Infancy by John Leyden. It is a common superstition of mariners that in the high southern latitudes on the coast of Africa, hmm, okay, maybe not Australia, hurricanes are frequently ushered in by the appearance of a spectre ship denominated the Flying Dutchman. The crew of this vessel are supposed to have been guilty of some dreadful crime in the infancy of navigation and to have been stricken with pestilence, and are ordained still to traverse the ocean, on which they perish till the period of their penance expire. Okay, Cape of Good Hope. That is in South Africa, so we get the idea that it's pretty much just that the Flying Dutchman is pretty much just relegated to one specific spot originally. That's actually, I actually like that better than just being a ghost ship that wanders the seas. Seriously, why don't we get that? Well, I suppose the setting would have to be the Cape of Good Hope for that to be seen, and huh. Okay, so Cape of Good Hope and seen in bad weather. That's so wait. Okay, so the Flying Dutchman is Dutch in origin. We've established that it's a man of war. I let's see here. A Dutch man of war, captained by Davy Jones. That's probably artistic license. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think Davy Jones is an actual figure beyond just being the Satan of nautical folklore. Yeah, I'll look into this next time I'm waiting for the sun to go down. Excuse me. But seriously, I'm actually thinking that was just artistic license. Making Davy Jones the captain of the Flying Dutchman, because to my knowledge, hmm, yes, to my knowledge, Davy Jones might have just been inside his locker. Maybe? I don't know. I should check that out. There might not actually be a connection between the two. Uh, Davy Jones and the Dutchman. I mean, I'm not seeing any. And the reading of the origins of the Flying Dutchman. But just being a ship that appears in the Cape of Good Hope, a ghost ship that appears in the Cape of Good Hope, um, during very bad weather, that's a great idea. I actually like that a lot more than it just being a generic ghost ship that shows up across the sea. Seriously, why don't we? That's a great idea. That's something that should be going back to. Hmm, what is that? Yeah, who's even? Oh, actually, I can probably read this next one while I'm walking on the wind. Thomas Moore places the vessel in the North Atlantic in his poem written on passing Dead Man's Island in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Jeez, can that be any longer? Late in the eve. Oh, Jesus. Does the title actually go on? Writing on passing Dead Man's Island in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, late in the evening, September 1804. Is that seriously the title of the poem? Oh my god, that's long. Okay, let's see here. Fast gliding along a gloomy bark, her sails are full, though the wind is still, and there blows not a breath her sails to fill. A footnote adds, the above lines were suggested by a superstition very common among sailors who call this ghost ship the Flying Dutchman. Dutch, whatever that little dash is called, and man, so, huh, wait. Was Dutch, no, wait, what am I saying? I can see it right there. The previous literary obviously had Dutchman as one word. What the hell more? Okay, the next one's by Sir Walter Scott, author of Ivanhoe. I'm familiar with his work. Ivanhoe, Waverley, Rob Roy. I'm familiar with his work. But I can't exactly see the entire paragraph, so I'm not going to attempt it. So, I think I might call this on the subject of the Flying Dutchman. But oh my god, that poem's length. The title, the length of that poem's title. That's, good lord. That is crazy long. Can't even see where I am. How? Wait, are those actually stars? How? Oh my god. Ugh. That's 458, so maybe I can get pretty far. So what have we found out? This will be what we've found out so far. Flying Dutchman, Dutch ship, went down the Cape of Good Hope, and only appears in that cape during very bad weather. Wait a minute, North Atlantic? Wait a minute, South Africa? That's the South Atlantic. Rocky headland of the Atlantic coast on the Cape Peninsula. What the hell? Looks like Thomas More might have been the one to change the location. Sir Walter Scott, a friend of John Leyden's, was the first to refer to the vessel as a pirate ship, writing in the notes to Rokeby, a poem, that the ship was originally a vessel loaded with great wealth on board of which some horrid act of murder and piracy had been committed, and that the apparition of the ship is considered by the mariners as the worst of all possible omens. Okay, so not a pirate ship originally. Not a pirate ship. Relegated to one area, only appears in bad weather. Jeez, we are discovering so much about the Flying Dutchman, aren't we? Okay, next one. According to some sources, 17th century Dutch captain Bernard, how do you pronounce that last name? Bernard Folke. Folke. Folke? Falk? I don't know. Let's see here. He was a Frisian-born captain for the Dutch East India Company. Okay. Carrying on. Is the motto for the captain of the ghost ship, so not Davy Jones. Folke was renowned for the speed of his trips from the Netherlands to Java and was suspected of being in league with the devil. Okay, so, Davy Jones, basically the devil of aquatic folklore, of nautical folklore, was Bernard Folke suspected of being in league with the devil. At most, the character in the film is, in Pirates of the Caribbean, is just a combination of two separate figures. Let's see here. The first version of the legend as a story was printed in Blackwood's Edinburgh magazine for May 1821, which puts the scene as the Cape of Good Hope. The story introduces the name Captain Hendrik van der Decken for the captain and the motifs elaborated by later writers of letters addressed to people long dead being offered to other ships for delivery. But if accepted would bring misfortune, the captain having sworn to round the Cape of Good Hope, though it should take until the Day of Judgment. Okay, so we're definitely getting an idea of what is going on, what's going on. Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is apparently captained by according to the first version of the legend about the captain. It's captained by a Hendrik van der Decken, not a Davy Jones. At any rate, the character of Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean is a combination of these two figures. Oh, geez, what is this? A passage from that. She was an Amsterdam vessel and sailed from port 70 years ago. Her master's name was Vanderdecken. He was a staunch seaman and would have his own way in spite of the devil. For all that, never a sailor under him had reason to complain. Though how it is on board with them, nobody knows. The story is this, that in doubling the Cape, they were a long day trying to weather the Table Bay. However, the wind headed them and went against them more and more, and Vanderdecken walked the deck, swearing at the wind. Just after sunset, a vessel spoke him, asking him if he did not mean to go into the bay that night. Vanderdecken replied, "May I be eternally damned if I do, though I should beat about here till the Day of Judgment." And to be sure, he never did go into that bay, for it is believed that he continues to beat about in these seas still, and will do so long enough. This vessel is never seen, but with foul weather along with her. Okay, so we've pretty much gotten plenty of information about the Flying Dutchman, relegated to one area, not a pirate ship, only appears in bad weather, definitely not captained by Davy Jones. Wait, Amsterdam vessel. That is in Holland, isn't it? Amsterdam. Let's see here. Capital city of the Netherlands. Official language Dutch. Denominum Dutch. Okay, so again, we're given later. It's never stated where exactly the vessel comes from, but Latin. Okay, hold on. Reported sightings, explanations as an optical illusion. Dismiss. Adaptations in film. Okay, now let's find out this Davy Jones locker bit. The origins of the name of Davy Jones, the sailor's devil, are unclear, with a 19th century dictionary tracing Davy Jones to a ghost of Jonah. Other explanations of this nautical superstition have been put forth, including an incompetent sailor or a pub owner who kidnapped sailors. That's, an incompetent sailor or a pub owner who kidnapped sailors. Yeah, citation needed, so obviously there's no real... There's nothing, there's no footnote to that. Let's see here. Brewer E. Cobham, Davy Jones Locker. Let's take a look. E. Cobham Brewer, 1810 to 1897. Dictionary of Phrase and Fable, 1898. Davy Jones Locker. He's gone to Davy Jones Locker, i.e. he is dead. Jones is a corruption of Jonah, the prophet who was thrown into the sea. Locker in seaman's phrase means any receptacle for private stores, and Duffy is a ghost or spirit among the West Indian... I'm not saying that, that's unbelievably outdated. So the whole phrase is, he's gone to the place of safekeeping where Duffy Jonah was sent to. Okay, so... So let me get this straight. Davy Jones is the prophet Jonah? Okay. What the hell? I certainly wasn't expecting that. Look, I was fine with India man because I thought that because I think from what I'm thinking, Englishmen, Dutchmen, yeah, that's my basic thinking of the origin of the word. It was an Indian back then as the denominator of someone from India. The denominator was India man, but there's no way I was going to say West India last word. No. There's no way I was saying that. I have standards. Granted, okay. There's a ghost dog called Perro Negro. At least I'm pretty, uh, I don't know, somewhere in Spain? Maybe somewhere where the language is Spanish, I think. Actually, it might be maybe Portuguese? I'm not exactly sure. But I'm not saying, I'm fine with saying the word when referring to Perro Negro, but I am not saying that word. Oh, jeez. Because it's outdated. I mean, if I was reading it from something set in the time, I mean, if I was reading a modern story, by that I mean a story within my general lifetime, and it was set during a point where that word was, what the hell? Where the? Okay, let's hold on here. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, as I was saying, if it's a story written in my general lifetime, and it's set in a period where the word was considered acceptable, I wouldn't be as uncomfortable saying it as I am now, which is why I did not say it. But seriously, Davy Jones is Jonah, as in the one that got swallowed by a whale. Wait, what? Oh, what the hell? How did I not? It didn't appear, did it? Davy Jones is the ghost of Jonah. I'm ah I I don't know. The fact that I can actually find a footnote to that in the bibliography on the Wikipedia article definitely tells me I have more of a reason to believe that than he was named after an incompetent sailor or a pub owner that kidnapped sailors. Granted, that last one's actually, but that last one would actually that the latter would actually make for a pretty good horror story. Hey, Alex. Yes. Rub your face against the couch. What? Alex? I know a lot of people know like Wikipedia's not reliable here because anyone can edit it. Here's the thing. If there's a footnote, if there's something in the references and notes, I believe it. If there isn't, I put doubt on it. I mean, seriously. Citation needed for the incompetent sailor or pub owner who kidnapped sailors. I have... Yeah, that's a definite reason to be doubtful of that theory, of those theories. But really, he's Jonah. Davy Jones is Jonah. Huh. I never would have expected that. What the... Well then if he's Jonah, then in that case he's neither Welsh, English, or Dutch. And welcome to... Where are we? Red House Mr. Krabs. Where'd Alex go? He's probably somewhere or other. He's Jonah. Okay, so... Huh. The ghost of Jonah. You know what? I actually find that more fascinating than whatever the hell was the deal in Pirates of the Caribbean. But yeah, all of this information about the Flying Dutchman was certainly a discovery, as was what we've learned about Davy Jones. So, the devil of nautical folklore is apparently the ghost of Jonah. Well, that's really something. And honestly, I really like the original idea of the Flying Dutchman, just being a Dutch ship that sank in the Cape of Good Hope and only appears there specifically during times of bad weather. We're not going to be doing BH. There's only 6 minutes left of this recording, so not really much of a point now, is there? What the hell? R? Yeah, there we go. I think it's R that triggers that. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's read about the... Hmm. The earliest known reference of the negative connotation of Davy Jones occurs in the 4 year voyages of Captain George Roberts by author Daniel Defoe. You mean author of Robinson Crusoe, really? Published in 1726 in London. Some of those companies said they would look out some things and give me along with me when I was going away, but Ruffle told them they should not, for he would toss them all into Davy Jones' locker if they did. Daniel Defoe. Huh. Really? So it seems from what we're seeing here is that Davy Jones' locker was simply a punishment for some sailors. Let's see here. An early description of Davy Jones occurs in Tobias Smollett's The Adventures of Peregrine Pickle? What? You're fine. Published in 1751. Peregrine pickle? What the fuck? Well, that's my F-bomb for the recording. What? This same Davy Jones, according to sailors, is the fiend that presides over all the evil spirits of the deep, and is often seen in various shapes perching among the rigging on the eve of hurricanes, shipwrecks, and other disasters to which seafaring life is exposed, warning the devoted wretch of death and woe. So, yeah, Tobias Smollett. Okay, so the ghost of a biblical prophet presides over the evil spirits of the deep and is seen in various shapes among the rigging of a ship. Okay, then. Let's let's see. Uh, in the story, Jones is described as having saucer eyes, 3 rows of teeth, horns, a tail, and blue smoke coming from his nostrils. I like that better than what we got in Pirates of the Caribbean. Honestly, that actually seems more interesting. Well, that's all the time we've got for today. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight.